Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. Cody here, coming at you with another baseball league logo ranking. Today we're going to be looking at the Prospect League, which is a summer collegiate league kind of in the Midwest area of the US, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, I'm pretty sure, all those fun states. I've been looking at doing this league for a while, and it's been requested a couple times, actually, most recently by Toy Soldier Off-Road. Thank you to you for, again, bringing this to the forefront of my attention. I've been trying to do this one for a while, and it took me a little bit because there was a team that was being added, and they finally announced it pretty recently. We'll get to that here in a little bit. I did just want to say real quick, thank you to everyone who has given me suggestions on leagues to do, different topics to cover. I love baseball, obviously, and I love logo design, and I just really think these are fun, just kind of ranking logos in leagues that people don't talk about too much, but are very cool and have a lot to offer. The Prospect League is no different. It's a super cool league. Best thing you can do to help support the channel is just like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. These things really help me out as I'm growing the channel here. I'm really stoked to see the change and the engagement over time. It's been a lot of fun putting these videos together. So first of all, thank you. And if you haven't already, just go ahead and be sure and subscribe to the channel. Would sure help me out. Appreciate you guys. This league is super interesting. It's a nice mix of teams that are very old and historic, and a couple of these actually have been a part of minor league baseball that had affiliations to major league teams, but unfortunately got cut during that 2020 rebrand restructure of minor league baseball. Several of these teams are actually super new because this league keeps expanding, and I might actually have to redo this, give it a couple years, because like I said, we did just add one team, and I'll get to that. It'll likely expand more, which is super welcoming because, again, this league is awesome. Now, the groundwork for the league was kind of laid in 1963 with the Central Illinois Collegiate League, which is kind of a precursor to the Prospect League that we know now, which began play in its inaugural season in 2009. So again, pretty new. As of the filming of this video, there are 17 teams in this league, so a pretty nice collection of different logos to talk about. And we're gonna kick things off at number 17. That is gonna give us the West Virginia Miners. Now, even though I have this last, I don't dislike this logo. I do see a lot of potential with it, but there's just like a couple glaring issues that we can see. I mean, it's kind of just got like a bunch of different textures and styles to it. We see this sort of almost like glazy, soft light hitting the helmet, and that looks really nice. It kind of adds this shiny effect, but we don't see anything like that in the Miners word mark or that gray pennant behind the word Miners. There's another logo in this league that uses a pennant, and it does it way more effectively than this. I'm not sure why they chose to have this gray blank pennant. It doesn't fit in at all with that green and yellow, which is a shame because green and yellow is such an amazing color combination across the board. Another style that we see is kind of this clip art, simple version of like the eyes that he's got and the expression that he's making. It's very clip arty. There's kind of just like a clash of styles, and I'm not super into it. Next up, we've got the Danville Dans. This one's super non-offensive. It's fine, I guess. The D in Danville looks just like the D for Detroit, so it's got this old historic kind of bold lettering to that, and I like that, but the rest of it is that Arial bold. Who can say? It looks very generic, super uninteresting. The big D and the rest of the letters don't super look like they fit, so this kind of looks like it says Anvil Dans rather than Danville Dans, which is kind of just a silly name as I'm saying it out loud a couple times. Danville Dans.
I want to be Dirty Dan.
What makes you think you can be Dirty Dan?
I'm dirty. See?
I'd say I'm Dirty Dan.
I'd say I'm Dirty Dan.
And now we've got the Clinton Lumber Kings. This is one of those teams that I mentioned had major league affiliation as an official minor league baseball team, but got cut during 2020 during that restructure. Pour one out for Clinton. It's a big bummer that a lot of these teams had to sacrifice that minor league status, but here we are. It sort of makes it tough to believe that this logo actually was a minor league logo, because this is honestly one of the worst logos I've seen. No disrespect to the city of Clinton, its people, its team. I'm sure very nice people live there. I'm pretty sure that within the word mark, there's a texture of lumber, like wood is what it appears to me. And it looks okay, I guess. The green kind of makes it hard to see that that is what it's supposed to be. We just have this kind of generic word mark. The font is kind of cool though, I'm all right with that. But the Clinton above it, terrible, awful. Why not have that match the font for Lumber Kings? Because that font looks pretty neat, but that Clinton, so lame. Apparently they changed their logo. It used to look like this, you know, so big change here. We've gone from a silver crown to a golden crown. On occasion, they'll mix in their alt logo, which is this guy here. Pretty interesting. I don't know if he's any better or worse than the word mark. He is the Lumber King, so all hail, praise be. I gotta move on. I'm sorry, Clinton. I can't look at this. Next up, we have a team that was founded in 2020 and joined in 2021, so this is brand new. That's the Johnstown Mill Rats. Right off the bat, it's kind of interesting that we have an expansion for this league in Johnstown, Pennsylvania. It's super far from most of these other teams, so the travel schedule is kind of chaotic, especially when we're looking at a summer collegiate league where all travel is by bus. That's a pretty tall order to have to go out all the way out to Johnstown, but that's kind of a whole other thing. Just looking at this logo for what it is, this is kind of like the Chuck E. Cheese you would get on Wish.com, like the great value version of Chuck E. Cheese. It's just kind of like a gross rat. Why? And that's not like a bad idea for a logo or for a team. Is a rat. I feel like that could be done pretty well, but this makes the mistake of just being boring. I keep throwing the Arial font under the bus, and I doubt half of these are even the Arial font, but I just keep saying it. We just have this generic stock Microsoft Word font for Johnstown. This is a great color combination too. It's just kind of wasted on a very uninspired logo. He's got an ear that looks like Pac-Man, so that's something. Next up, the Quincy Gems. This one's actually pretty cool. I do really love the layered effect. I'm a big fan of that. So we start off with a baseball, and then we've got like some crossing bats, and then we see the team name for Quincy and Gems, which have really nice font. By the way, I really like the word marks here. And the whole thing's topped off in the closest part of the foreground with this gem, of course, for the Quincy Gems, and this kind of like big sort of flash background behind that. And I like it. Overall, it's very nice. It's like crisp and simple, snappy. I'm into that. I really like the red trim that's kind of flowing through most of this too. Super cool logo. Nice job, Quincy. All right, next up, we've got the Chillicothe Paints. This team actually just won the Prospect League Championship like a couple days ago, so big props to Chillicothe. There's a lot to like about this logo. First of all, the color in the mane is super cool. I'm not a big horse guy, but from what I understand, a paint is a breed of horse. If I'm not mistaken, it's like a type of horse, kind of known for its spots. And you can see that like in the neck of the horse, which is a cool detail, actually. I really like the whole one solid elemental piece that everything is contained in. I think that's really nice. It's kind of the first time we're seeing it here on this list today. I can't say I'm in love with the expression on the horse. It's kind of the one thing that's bringing me back. He looks a tiny bit confused, if anything. A little derpy, just a touch. But beyond that, everything else is super great on this. Again, those colors in his mane are awesome. Next up, we've got the Normal Corn Belters. This is one of the funniest logos and like the funniest and funnest team names that I've come across. This is fantastic. I'm pretty sure the green part of an ear of corn is the shuck, if I'm not mistaken. I totally could be. I probably am. Someone from Illinois could tell me better, could confirm or deny. But either way, that part is acting like arms, and they're kind of coming above Corn Belters, the word mark, which is fantastic, by the way. I love that word mark. So I really like that. He's kind of like pushing himself up and almost like out of this logo in a way. It's super cool. The hair is hilarious. That's like my favorite part, honestly. I will say, honestly, he just looks super hungover, and that's not a criticism. It's just an interesting expression to be making. You know, this is the kind of face you make when you thought it was a good idea to order a round of shots for your buddies at 1:30 in the morning. This is the kind of expression you wake up with. This is absolutely worth pointing out too. This team plays in a stadium called the Corn Crib. The Corn Crib. That is the most Illinois thing I've ever heard. I'm a Normal Corn Belter fan for life. That is so sick. Easily the best stadium name in the country. It's not even close. Moving right along, we've got the O'Fallon Hoots. There's a lot of like great details going on in this owl, but the whole thing is presented in such like a simplistic, straightforward way. So it doesn't look as like detailed and excellent as it really is, honestly. I love that yellow trim around everything. The color combination here is fantastic. Perfect symmetry. I really like that. It just makes it stand out. It's got these sharp angular components with the wings and then also the word mark Hoots. And it's got this nice baseball in the background to kind of round things out. It looks great. I don't super love that kind of gradient, I think is the right word, going through the word Hoots, like white on top and like a gray on the bottom. I don't know why that's there in the first place. If that weren't there, this actually could be a little bit higher for me. I'm not crazy about that specifically, but everything else about this is awesome. Next up, we've got the Alton River Dragons, who actually just played in the championship series against the Paints, but wound up losing, but still, successful season. And honestly, a pretty cool logo. There's a nice, like, thin black line on the very outside of this logo, but within that, there's just a lot of, like, gray border space taking up. It kind of washes out the dragon itself, and it also kind of washes out the text down there with Alton and River Dragons. It just makes the text and the dragon look smaller than it actually is with all that gray space on the outside. And also just the design style on the dragon itself looks like something you might find on like DeviantArt. It just doesn't seem super polished and like super crisp and sharp as I would like. And I'm not saying I could draw a better dragon, like there's no way that I could. I just don't think he's like very tough. I kind of wish he was a little sharper, a little bit more aggressive. He just looks a little too soft and rounded, and it kind of lacks a lot of that like aggression and intensity that you would expect with a dragon. But overall, it's not bad. This is kind of like right in the middle of the road for me. I'm happy with it where it's at. For our next logo, we've got Rex Baseball out of Terre Haute. We see this logo a lot. This is kind of the primary, but I've also seen it using Terre Haute, which also looks pretty cool. I really like this logo. I love the black and white and blue. All looks really nice. It's got this royalty kind of kingly looking thing to it. And I really like the overall vibe. It's super cool. Now, what we see pretty often with these unique baseball team names is that many times they're rooted in some kind of like historical context. In this case, Rex Coffee was a pretty prominent and very popular coffee in the Midwest that was patented in 1905 and owned by the Clabber Girl Corporation, which I'm sure you'd recognize if you saw this, which is their baking powder. This is very kind of iconic looking can. So when I saw this, I was like, oh, hell yeah. All right, baseball, coffee, two of my favorite things. Let's go. Let's see if this still exists, because if it does, I want it. I want it. So I Googled Rex Coffee, and I got their website. It's clear that this is still within what we've been looking at as far as like the Rex brand. It's got the crown and everything, and even if you look at the bottom of that package there, it says Terre Haute, Indiana. So sweet, score, like we're there. But we scroll down a little bit, and we don't have to scroll down very far. We get new website coming soon. Check back May 2022. Well, no big deal. Let's just go ahead and purchase this coffee on Amazon. We'll click that. Rex Organic Coffee, light roast. Everything's looking good. But hold on a second. Enhance that image. RexCoffee.com, Alpharetta, Georgia. Well, that's kind of a weird way to spell Terre Haute. Whatever. I went ahead and ordered it anyway, and this is what I got. You can see here, it does not say Terre Haute or Alpharetta. It says nothing. We just get back to our RexCoffee.com, which we know yields nothing as of the filming of this video. And we get a lovely roast date of May 18th of 2022. Again, we are just a little bit past that. Let's go make a cup, I guess. Smells pretty good. It's very aromatic. Okay. That's not bad. It's pretty good, actually. Cheers. I mean, it's not bad, but like, what is this and where is it coming from? The package I got this from is from Coffee and Filters Direct Incorporated, Alpharetta, Georgia. So there's our big clue. Let's go check them out. Okay, so here on their website, we've got Coffee and Filters Direct, intelligent food and beverage distribution. All right, sounds great. Brands we work with. Okay, we're seeing a lot of coffee here. Chock full of nuts. Good Times Coffee Co. I'm willing to bet that that's coffee. Pure Water Filters. I'm willing to bet that that's coffee. So it looks as though Rex Coffee has been bought out and now distributed by Coffee and Filters Direct. But Clabber Girl owns Rex Coffee, and Clabber Girl was bought out by B&G Foods a few years ago, which is a food holding company based out of New Jersey. They advertise that they have Clabber Girl as one of their brands and products, but we don't see that on Coffee and Filters Direct website. We don't see Rex Coffee anywhere on here. This website is more useless than RexCoffee.com. There's really nothing you can click or look up or search. I guess we're just gonna have to message them. I'll give you guys a follow-up on that and let you know how that's going. In the meantime, if you'd like to come down to San Antonio and enjoy a delicious cup of the Columbia Tolima with me via Rex Coffee, feel free, because I'm likely not going to finish this whole thing. I mean, it's pretty good. I just sort of like don't trust it. Where did this come from? We've seen 3 different of this package's labels specifically. One that said Terre Haute, which is where we expected this to be from. One that said Alpharetta, Georgia, which we know is Coffee and Filters Direct. And then this one, which has no information on it at all. It does not say where it's from whatsoever. It just has the website, which we've seen is useless. It's also worth pointing out that Rex Coffee has absolutely no presence on social media. Their most recent post on Instagram, @RexRoasting, came October 15th, 2020, while their most recent Twitter post, @RexRoastingCo, came on May 31st, 2019. So that's Rex Coffee in a nutshell, guys. All right, y'all. So next up, we've got the Cape Catfish. What was I talking about before all that Rex stuff? I'm gonna like refocus my brain here for a second. Jesus. Cape Catfish, super cool logo. I love the expression on the catfish. He's very tough looking. I love his teeth. He's just ready to crush that baseball. I really like all the baseball elements that we have going on with the ball itself, the baseball bat that he's holding. And then we have the infield, which I've always appreciated. I like seeing parts of a baseball field and stadium within a baseball logo. It's nice to see things like this and get a break from just always looking at like a baseball or a bat or some combination of the two. So I appreciate having that in the background with the baseball infield. Very nice. Colors here are super cool too. And overall, I just really like this. And now we've got the Lafayette Aviators. I love the kind of aviator dude. He's got a really awesome mustache. Kind of looks like a turn of the century barnstormer guy. I like the little details with the jacket and the scarf. We've got the helmet with the goggles. Very nice. I love the imagery here. I also really like the Aviators word mark. It's very clean. I love the baseball bat crossing the T there. Also looks very nice. Lafayette actually has a really nice logo package for the Aviators. Golly, this one with like the plane as an entire turbine engine for the body is beyond cool. Like if this was the logo, this would probably be top 3 for me, honestly. I think this is so sick. It looks like a monster and it's awesome. This is so cool. Next up, we've got the Champion City Kings. And you're probably really surprised to see me put a logo like this so high. I mean, this is like top 5 out of 17 teams. Historically, across this channel, I haven't really favored logos that are just words, like just a word mark, but this is done right. This is how you do it if you're gonna do it. This is very nice, crisp trimming as far as like the lettering goes. It just looks really nice with the red and blue and white. It's very sharp. I love that the font for Champion City fits within the font used for Kings. A lot of the times we see 2 different fonts, one for the city or region and then one for the actual team name. And I don't know why that is. I feel like it should never be that way. It should have some cohesion, which this totally does. I also really enjoy that Champion City fits in so nice and snug, like after that I and then over the S, it just fits in this nice like rectangular sort of shape. We see a baseball bat in the K. That's very well done there. And of course the crown on top of the I. I'm sure this team caffeinates with a nice freshly brewed cup of Columbia Tolima, courtesy of our friends at Rex Coffee. All right, and next up we've got the Springfield Lucky Horseshoes. This is actually a rebrand because up until just even a couple years ago, this team was known as the Springfield Sliders. And this logo is not bad at all. I'm actually a pretty big fan of it, but holy cow, this Lucky Horseshoes logo is so much cooler and it's way more fun and it ties into the city so much better too. Again, looking up why baseball team names are named the way they are with something specific like this, like a Lucky Horseshoe, we had to do a little bit of digging and find out what was going on there. So it turns out that a horseshoe is a specific type of sandwich that hails from the Springfield, Illinois area. Hence why there is a sandwich included in the Springfield logo package. We have this super awesome Abe Lincoln penny too, because why not? We're in Springfield. I'm in love with this logo package. These look great. That's all well and good, but I'm sure you're curious to know what a horseshoe sandwich actually is. So according to Wikipedia, the horseshoe is an open-faced sandwich consisting of thick sliced toasted bread, often Texas toast, or as we call it here in Texas, toast. It's got a hamburger patty or other choice of meat, but from what I've gathered around the internet, it's almost always just a hamburger patty, French fries, and cheese sauce. I gotta be honest, that sounds pretty damn good. All right, guys, here we go. Our Texas toast is done. So this is it. This is the big hoorah.
A few moments later.
Well, guys, that's a horseshoe, apparently. This is the most appetizing looking unappetizing thing I think I've ever made. I'm no Springfield native or anything, but I think this looks pretty damn good. I also don't know if the cheese sauce is supposed to be this clumpy, but it kind of is what it is. And I guess there's really nothing left to do now but just eat it. So here we go. Definitely not the most keto-friendly thing I've ever eaten. This is the Texas toast and the cheese sauce and the burger and the fries kind of all in one bite. So this has a little bit of everything. This one's for you, Springfield. Yo, this is banging for real. Holy crap, this is good. Because it tastes just how you would expect. It's got like some of the best things ever to eat on one plate. If I could, I would probably eat this every day, which I will for a couple days because I have a lot of leftovers from the recipe I used. Hell yeah, Springfield, I'm a fan. The Lucky Horseshoes. This is not safe for work for vegetarians, by the way. Do not watch this. I'm gonna kind of hustle up through some of the rest of these because I want to sit and finish this. Now that I'm 30 though, this is an absolute necessity at this point. Honest to God, I'm probably gonna take some Pepto after this too, because this is gonna hurt me if I don't. Cheers. We've got the Jackson Rockabillies. Brand new team here. They're going to start play next year in 2023, which is great because Jackson, Tennessee actually had a minor league team for a long time the Jackson Generals. But again, during this shift and reconstruction in 2020, they lost that team. So it's really nice to see the city of Jackson have a team. Great city. I've been there before, kind of between Memphis and Nashville. In love with this logo too. It's super cool. It's honoring the rockabilly type of music from Jackson, Tennessee, the history there. Kind of attitude from this Billy Goat is based off of Johnny Cash. You can kind of see the resemblance there. It's super cool. He's got the guitar in his hand. Very crisp, very clean. One of the better logos in this league, obviously. That's why I have it ranked so high. They left the team name up to like a fan vote, and they decided on the Rockabillies, and I think it was a fantastic choice given the history of rockabilly music to Jackson, and this is awesome. This is awesome in every way. At number 2, we've got the Burlington Bees. Now, I had mentioned when I was talking about the West Virginia Miners about that pennant that they had in their logo and about how there's like a right and wrong way to do it. Well, this is definitely the right way to do it. You can see that pennant in the background that the bee is kind of in front of, swinging that bat. The pennant has the word Burlington in it, and it's just really cool. It's like triangular. It doesn't try and like grab for your attention. It's like subtle in the background, and it's just a cool way to tie everything in together. This kind of looks like an inverted triangle going down like this, and that pennant up there really helps with that. And the bee has like a ton of attitude. I rank bee logos so high. There's something about like bee logos. They're always great. Like, look at these down here. All of these fantastic team names that are bee related. These are all just great. I feel like you cannot go wrong if you choose a bee as your logo or your mascot, and this looks fantastic. This team is super old too. They were founded in 1924. They've had a few name changes over like their 100-year run. This logo is kind of newer-ish. You can see this old logo here really needed some attention, and they got it right. This is a complete 180 from like a yikes to like a gushing. I love this. I actually had the Burlington Bees at number 1 for a long time, like as I was compiling this list, but the more I looked at this, the more I really just had to go with the Illinois Valley Pistol Shrimp. Take a look at this beauty and admire it, man. This is phenomenal. First of all, just the colors, orange and black. We haven't seen that a whole lot on this channel that we've been doing these ranking logos, and I love it. This is a timeless color combination. It is aged so well. Also, that Pistol Shrimp has so much attitude with his left hand, like, you know, the big hook claw that like makes like a snapping noise that it's known for. I love that that's behind with the bat in front of that, and then he's got his right arm, like pretty nice biceps for Pistol Shrimp. He looks pretty tough. It's also fantastic that his tail, I guess that's a tail, you would call that a tail, is holding the bat and not one of his arms. There's nothing else occupying his hands. There doesn't really need to be. There's just so much energy coming out of this. Like, he's just ready for action. He's ready to kick your ass. And honestly, I get kind of like a hockey vibe. The whole thing kind of looks like a puck in a way, and I'm not mad about that. It just kind of adds this angle of like energy and aggression to it. Man, this is so cool. This is sick. I'm probably gonna buy a hat of the Pistol Shrimp or a shirt or something. This is by far one of the coolest logos that I've seen in any sport, bar none. This is so cool. What a unique name too. They did something really awesome with such a weird name, and I love that. A lot of teams in this logo did, actually. There's definitely some unique names here in this league. I think I said logo, but I meant league. All of these teams have absolutely killed it. Phenomenal league, a lot of fun. Well guys, it's gonna do it today for the Prospect League. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, please consider liking, subscribing if you haven't already. That really helps out the channel. Go ahead and comment down below. Tell me which one was your favorite team, which was your least favorite, which ones you loved, hated, whatever it may be. And then give me some ideas for future leagues. I'm always open to more. I love viewer suggestions. I'm really into that. I do have a nice list going of leagues that I want to work through and talk about and highlight. So I am going to start doing that. But give me some inspiration, guys. I'm always open for more. Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate you clicking on this. We'll see you in the next video.